first few items you're going to have seen before. Mean, median, and mode. I don't know if you remember that. Okay? But what is statistics? It's the branch of applied mathematics. It's just mathematics. That involves the collection, description, analysis, and inference of conclusions from quantitative data. If you just have data, a bunch of points, and you don't know how to analyze it, it was a waste of time for you to collect it. Like if it doesn't tell you anything, if you're not able to tell your customer, oh, we see that your sales are doing this, then it's wasted money, right? Wasted time. You need to be able to analyze it. So let's dive right in. Page 3. Have your calculators ready, because from time to time we do calculate things. You need to remember this. Don't just worry about how to find the answer. You also want to worry about what does it tell me, okay? This is big. Measures of central tendency, for short, MCT. Okay, what are they? The arithmetic mean. Okay, so these are the three. If you wanted to have different colors, you know, color up your page a little bit. The arithmetic mean is the one you've been calculating since, I don't know, junior high at some point. And then there's the median and the mode, okay? I will say this, they all strive to find the middle, but they're not all successful at all times, okay? A measure of central tendency is a number around which data set clusters, okay? It's a number around which data set clusters. In mathematics, there are several different measures of central tendency. The most common one is the arithmetic mean. It's also known as the average in everyday language. That's what we usually call it, the average, instead of the arithmetic mean. The arithmetic mean is denoted by the symbol. There's your symbol, X with a bar on top. Okay? It is found by adding all the values in the data set and then dividing it by the sum. Sorry, dividing this sum by the number of values. I think you all remember this one. I'll give you the nerdy formula for mean, okay? If you're a nerd like me, right, it's actually the sigma, right? For Caleb, sigma, right? Ship. It's adding up all your values and dividing it by the number of values. That is the nerdy formula. It says the exact same thing. Add up all your values, get a number, and then you divide it by the number of values you've considered. So if it's 1,000 numbers you're adding, this bottom number would be 1,000, okay? Always include units. Please don't forget the units, whatever units are thrown at you, and round this to 2 decimals. This is where you're going to be a little confused. You're going to find the average number of sandwiches the store sells, and you're going to calculate it as 2.39. And you're going to be like, that can't be, it has to be 2 or 3 sandwiches, because Mr. Anderson kept on doing that to us. When it comes to average, it's okay to have decimals, because it's a measure. Because if we do an average of sales of 2.39 sandwiches this week, and next week it's 3.12, oh, wait a minute, we've sold more on average, right? So we want that decimal to be in there, okay? Here we go. Patrick earned the following amounts over a 6-month period. Morning. Over 6 months, these were the sales for Patrick. Or the earnings, sorry, earnings, not sales. Calculate as average monthly income. Let's do that. So I'm going to start using X bar a lot. And then all you have to do is add up those values that you were presented with. How many values are we adding? 6, right? So we divide it by 6. The top number, I'll just spare you, like we'll just copy this down. The top, if you add up all of those, is 10,900 over the 6 months, right? And so we divided, the bottom number represents the number of months basically you've considered. When you divide these, you get 1,816 and 67 cents per month. This is the average monthly income. I don't know if you remember the good old grade 11 course where you did budgeting. Do you remember budgeting? You would have to figure out your average expenses. I don't know if you remember that, but same thing, right? You just add up what you have, divide it by how many values you've considered. So on average, so let's say you're applying for a credit card and you have a job that is quite volatile, like it's just all over the place. You get lots of hours certain months, you get almost nothing the other month. If they ask you what's your average monthly income, this is what you would do, exactly this. You would figure out on average how much you make, okay? Next, create a bar graph of the amounts earned over time. I've already prepared this for you. What I need you to, if you do a bar graph, make sure the widths are the same of those bars. I don't care how wide you make them, okay? So for January, it's 1,500 bucks. So it's literally between 1,000 and 2,000. So let's make them 2 boxes wide. That's how wide I'll make my bar. And it goes all the way to 1,500, so you do one of those. Okay, 1,500. For February, it's 2,300. This will be 2,250 right here. Just make it 2 boxes wide and then just go up. And approximately is good enough today, okay? Doesn't have to be exactly there. 2,200, so that bar for March should be a little shorter. Than the one in April. And then 800 for April, right? And then 2,000 for May. So we go straight to 2,000 here, this line right there. And then 2,100 for the month of June. Should be a little taller than your May bar. And there you go. There you have your averages. Another nice thing, if you ever do a bar graph, we tend to connect the tops with a line and we can see the trends. So I'm going to use a blue pen for that. You do whatever works for you. But if you connect those, you can also see what's happening. And then we always go down to the, so that's another way of visualizing it. And you can clearly tell, where does our income drop off? The month of April, right? So I'm going to ask you sometimes, like, what do you observe? April is the lowest. That is considered our outlier. Outliers, what are outliers? Let's read it up here. Values that are significantly different from the general trend. They lie outside the set. There could be more than one, right? One or more. So the outlier is, in this case, it is the month of April. With earnings of only $800. Okay, 800 is significantly different than everything else. So if you want to highlight that, right, only 800 bucks, we highlight April. We would consider that month to be our outlier when it comes to income. So now it's where you use your imagination. If the question ever asks you, if the province ever asks you, why could that be? Why is April, what would be a reason why April is the lowest? You just use your imagination. It could be due to late, what's that? April Fool's Day? Well, that'd be pretty mean joke to play on someone, right? You're fired. What? Actually, I'm just kidding. You could say due to layoffs. There could be it could be illness. Maybe Patrick got sick, right? It could be vacation. If you're self-employed, if you're not working, you're not making money. Right? So any of these are possible reasons for that. Now, this is where I want you to make a, I'm going to use a red pen for this one. How would you draw your average on this graph? On average, you're making $1,800 more or less. So go to 1,800, it's about there. And you're basically saying if you were to spread out all this wonkiness here, if you were to spread it out, this is where all your bars should be this tall. If you could like have like buckets and you spread it out evenly, you would have this. This is your average of 18, 16, 67. Okay? So it's trying to spread it out evenly. So when you're budgeting, why is budgeting so important? Because it tells you that, hey, I shouldn't be blowing all my money. Even though February I made 2,300 bucks, I probably shouldn't be blowing it because there's going to be months where it's going to be lower. So this is kind of like spreading out evenly what you're earning. And the same thing would be with your expenses, right? You spend this much on fast food, right? Like that's, or restaurants, and just see how much on average am I spending, right? So you want to kind of find, that's where the average comes in. So make sure you, let's highlight outliers here. I use green on in my notes. Make sure you highlight outliers and what they are. They're significantly different than the general trend. That's what outliers are. Normally, folks, if there is an outlier, average is not a good way to find the middle, because that outlier may just be a one-off, and we tend to not want to include that in our average. It depends on why it's there. Okay? If it's a seasonal thing, every year that's going to happen, yes, we do. But if it's a one-off due to a mistake or a human error or something, you most likely don't want to include that. This is average. Let's keep going. Median and mode on page 4. I used orange for median there. So median is the middle value in a data set. Okay? It is most easily found when you arrange your data set in ascending or descending order. So first arrange. That's important for median. So you're going to actually write this down on your study sheet. Median, make sure you arrange it. Okay? There are two cases. You ready for this one? There's always two cases. There's either, if you have an odd number of values, then pick the middle value. You must have an equal amount. Highlight this, please. You must have an equal amount of values on either side of the middle value. Okay, so this is a data set. Is it arranged? Arranged? Question mark? Yes. Okay, it is arranged. I can tell. It's in ascending order. And in this case, it's an odd number. Odd number of values. Pick one. Okay? That's all you need to do. If it's an odd, you just pick it. It's this one right here. So median is going to be 6 units. That's it. Whatever the units happen to be in this case. I'll give you a cheat later on for this because sometimes if you have like 50 numbers, how do you find the middle? I'll give you the shortcut for that. Next you have an even number of values. Then you need to calculate the mean of the two middle values. So again, if I'm asking you for the median, you want to ask yourself, is it arranged? And the answer is yes. And it's even number of values. What do you mean by even, Mr. Dixon? 2, 4, 6 values, correct? 6. Over here, let's go up here. A number of values. We had only 5. 5 values. Let's write that up here. Here we have 6 values. So this is even. Let's write that one more time because even is a bit more work. 6 values, it's even. So in this case, you just pick these two. It's going to be one. It's going to be between these two here. So the median is not 6 or 10. It is 6 plus 10 divided by 2. You got that? So 10 plus 6 is 16. Divided by 2 is 8 units. So in this case, the median is not an actual number from the set, but it is calculated. It's 8 units. For now, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'll give you the shortcut later on. Morning. All right, so I haven't done. I need you to find the median of these two sets. Ask yourself, are they arranged? If so, find the median. Actually state what the median is for these two sets. One is even, one is odd, so figure it out. I'm going to update my attendance real quick. It's already arranged. It doesn't, I usually go from lowest to highest, but it doesn't really matter as long as you arrange it. I count. There's 2, 4, 6, 7 values. That is odd, okay? So really, there should be just one value here. And if you're not sure, if 6 is what you've picked, you're right. Just count 3 to either side and you're fine, okay? So the median here is 6 units, okay? The next one here, if I ask you for the median, is it arranged? You might have to do this yourself, and the answer is yes. 2, 4, 6, 8 values. This is even. We have to calculate. So I'm guessing it's these two here that I have to consider. You count 3 on either side, so it's definitely 6 and 10. I should have changed the numbers a little bit, but anyways. Divided by 2. Make sure you add before you divide, or else you're going to get this wrong. 8 units would be the median in this case right here. All right. So here we go. Let's keep going. That's your median. Mean median mode. That's what we're doing here. Okay. The all measures of central tendency. Page 5, mode. It's the number that occurs most often in the list. And here are some scenarios again. You can have no mode, one mode, or a number of modes. I crossed off no mode here. So no mode is if each number appears the same number of times. So if you had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, this would have no mode. So if another scenario would be 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 would also have no mode because they all appear the same number of times. So you don't have like a single one that is more than any other one. Okay? So no mode. Then you have to go mode. If I ask you for it, like what is the mode? You go NA. Okay, don't put down 0 because if you do put 0, you're telling me 0 is the most common answer. Okay? If you're selling sandwiches, I don't know why I'm sticking with sandwiches, maybe I'm hungry. But as a store owner, you want mode to be 0, right? How many sandwiches are left on the shelf? If you see a bunch of zeros, you're happy because you're selling out, right? So 0 is also could be an actual answer, okay? One mode, if only one occurs most often than the other. So if you have 2, 2, 3, 3, 7, 7, 7, let's say, 9, 20, 23. You look at that, and you're like 7 is definitely the one that shows up most often. So the mode here is 7 units. That's it. Easy as that. That's the most common scenario you're going to encounter. A number of modes, if 2 or more numbers occur the same number of times, and this is the greatest number of times an entry occurs in the data set. So here, let's say 2, 2, 2, 3, 5, 7, 20, 20, 20, 81, 99. Sorry about the spacing, that's just random. So you look at this, you're like, oh, you've got 3 20s and 3 2s, right? And no other number, right, appears 3 times. So in this case, you have 2 modes, okay? So the mode here, all you would say is 2, 20 units. So I'll tell you this here. Note, mode is not always a good MCT, as it could lie on the outside of the set. Okay, so meaning 20 in this case is closer to the upper here, right, to the upper values. So 20 would probably not be a good measure of central tendency. It's still the mode, but it's not necessarily a good MCT. Let's keep going here. Oh, what would be the median of this set? If I asked you find the median, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 values. Let's just do that on the side here. Median. Is it arranged? Yes, it is. You're welcome. Okay? It's not always going to be arranged. So it's got 11 values. This is odd. So we know that there's just going to be one number that's going to meet the criteria. So let's see. Is it 7? I'm counting 5 to the left. I'm counting 5 above it. So 7 it is. So be comfortable with that. That's a complete aside, but I thought, why not? We might as well. Okay? Soon you're going to get to practice, so you'll thank me in a bit. Okay. There you go. Just a little note here. Mode, again, one more time, does not necessarily lie towards the center. The mode is used in different situations than mean or median. For example, a store owner could use the mode to find out which size of t-shirt is the most popular, or shoe size, or anything like that. So modes are especially good in those scenarios. Okay. The mean or the median wouldn't help the store owner in this particular scenario. If you want to stock the shelves with the most popular, you would definitely want to go with the mode in that case. Okay? All right. I'll do one more from scratch so you know what I'm expecting you to do when it's mean, median, and mode. So let's go to page 6. I'm starting nice and easy, but then I'll also have negative values there, so you have to be comfortable with negative values. Should I do the negative value first? I will. Let's go to C. That way you know how to deal with negatives. Okay. All of these you're asked to find a mean, median, and mode. I will arrange it right away because it's almost like a necessity. So let's arrange it. Let's do that on the side here. This is how you should arrange, okay? Find the lowest value, which is -7. I would cross it off and then write it down. Okay. Next, you have -2 and -4 would be higher, a little higher. Write that down, cross it off. Then you've got your -2s. Cross those out. Then you have your 3s. 3, cross those out. And then you have your 5, 7, and 12, right? We're getting to the end. 5, 7, 12, done. Count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 values. So you should have 9 here. 2, 4, 6, 8, and another one which is 9. Okay, so this is a range. This is arranged right here. So most likely you're going to need this anyways, might as well do it right off the bat. So find the mean. Grab your calculator. You need to be good at adding negatives. I hope your calculator will cooperate on this one. But I'm going to use, my calculator allows me to put in a minus. So -7, and then I just literally go -4, -2, -2, +3, +3, +5, +7, +12. I enter it exactly the way they show up. And I get 15. You should be able to get 15 if you do this right. Dust. And then I counted 9 values, so I'm going to go 15 divided by 9. That's 1.67. What are we in? We are in temperatures, right? This is temperatures in degrees Celsius. Is it okay to have a negative average? Yes. Like if we're going to do January temperatures, average for January, it's probably going to be negative, I don't know, -15. Hopefully not, but unfortunately that's probably what it's going to be. So it's okay to have a negative answer. In this case, it is still close to the 0 mark, right? If you plot your temperatures. And then what's the median? I've got, you know what, I'm just going to say 9 values. This is odd. I think some of you need that reminder. 9 values, odd. So there's just one I need to go pick. Is it 3? Okay, got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 3 degrees Celsius is my median. Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I was checking my key if I had made changes to this. What's the mode? It would be -2 and +3. Those two temperatures appear most often. So it'd be -3 degrees Celsius. Sorry, -2. My bad. And +3 degrees Celsius. In this case, you have two modes. And I want to add something. In general, median, if I ask you, right, it means that half of the time the temps were below 3 degrees Celsius, and half of the time above 3 degrees Celsius. That's what that means. That's what the median is best known for. Right? If I said the median number of sleeping hours for this class is 5 hours, then that would mean what? Half of students sleep less than 5. Heavens forbid, I hope not. Or half of the class sleeps longer than 5 hours. Okay, so that's the median. That's what the median is trying to tell you. You might see government reports talking about income. The median household income is $60,000. That means half of the families are below that. Half of the families make more than that. Okay, so that's what the median is best known for. Okay, I'm going to ask you to practice this a little bit. Just get a really good grip on this. It starts nice and easy. Page 6 is really small number of values so that you really nail this. And then once you start going to 7, come with me to 7. Look at that, right? And this is not arranged, by the way. So I'm going to ask you to arrange that. Do it right underneath here. Be very careful not to rush. Take the smallest, cross it off. Take the second, right? You want to cross off as you arrange. So I'm going to give you some class time. I'm going to walk around. So 6 to, I think, 8 or 9. 6 to 9. That's what I'm going to assign you to do. And by the way, this is not what this unit is all about. It's some of it, but get a good grip on this, and then you'll have a good start to this unit. So pages 6 to 9, it's all about mean, median, mode, and some explaining. You know what? Can I just talk about, sorry guys, I know you're already ready to take off on me, but there could be outliers. I didn't talk about that. If applicable, identify outliers. Let's look at the set we just did here. Is there any, would you consider any outliers here? Just look up for a bit, because that's probably going to be a challenging one for you at times. I'm going to say this, an outlier should stand out like a sore thumb. It should stand out. It's like, whoa, that's like way off. If you think about it, like look, start from the smallest and go up. It's progressively going up. And some of you might say 12 is way off, but I would say based on the trends here, it's not that far off. There is no outlier here. I'm going to tell you, for example, if you do the first one here, you're going to notice 19 being significantly off compared to the rest. It's like a big jump. Okay, so if there's an outlier, identify it, please. And today is just practicing, so it's all good if you get it wrong. We're going to be okay. I'm going to kind of guarantee you that an outlier on a test or AC is way off. You're going to recognize it right away.